This week on One Crazy Story, Andy Wright returns to talk about high school fights, his first job, and more.
At this point, when I first spoke up, I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe it, the kid with the T-Rex arm. They were like, wait, what?
Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
What?
Blew my mind. I'm like, no, the guy with the T-Rex arm. They're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, he had like a deformed arm. Like, it was like, I don't, like maybe an accident or he was born that way. It was obviously half a foot shorter.
Right.
And they're like, well, now we definitely have to go back. I'm like, no, this is not, not the lesson from this.
So you just made it worse. Hello and welcome to another edition of One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week I'm talking with the always funny Andy Wright. It's always nice to have Andy on the show. If you're a regular listener, you may have heard him on older episodes. He's been on a few times before this. For those who don't know Andy, we met years ago when I started stand-up comedy and became pretty good pals, so it's always nice to have him on the show. And if you're not doing so already, you can follow me on all the social media at One Crazy Story or at Nate Comedy. I'm easy to find. I'm doing stand-up all over the country. So if you want to come see me, come check out a show. I'd love to meet you. And if not, that's cool too. You can just keep listening to this. That's always nice as well. So I'm going to keep this intro short. I really appreciate you listening. Thank you so much for being here. Now, enjoy this week's episode with myself and my good friend, Andy Wright. That's
all right.
Now we're not funny. That's how this works.
Now I have a very sad story for you.
Yes.
It's about when my friend died.
Andy Wright, returning guest, one of my favorite guests, popular guest.
Thank you.
One of the top. Both.
Really?
Yeah.
Popular?
Yeah. Everybody loves when Andy's on. I get emails.
True?
I get emails about
from
that shit.
Whom?
People we both know.
Oh, sure.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but actually, I'm pretty sure.
Your girlfriend emails you?
Yes. I'm like, will you send me an email? I want to show Andy. Send it from this email that I made up that
send
I show.
Send it from your Hotmail, then send it from your Gmail.
Yes.
Yeah.
And AOL.
And
AOL.
Oh, she still has one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody does. Everybody. You got to keep that net zero.
For some reason, she has one from Cricket Wireless.
Yes, Cricket Wireless, the new singular. But yeah, no, I think yours have been some of the most popular, maybe. And I see you're back on the gram.
I am back on the gram.
Evil Andy Wright.
Yes. So given
what brings you back to the gram? Just you missed it?
So my buddies at American Bocce were in town
for
our playoffs this past week.
Yes.
And there were like some things posted to their story that I was like, I want to see it.
Yeah. So did you sign up with a new account or did you just change the username?
No, I signed up with a new account. So I went dark back in June where I literally removed everything.
Yeah. All
and
social
I
media.
checked the boxes on Facebook like, nope, I'm done for this time. They're like, are you sure you got 90 days?
They ask
like,
you if you're sure like 8 times.
Yeah.
They're like,
and so it's all gone. All that data's gone. I mean, in the
they still have it.
Yeah.
So as soon as
in
you
the fake sense and the symbolic sense of where like I believe it, but
as soon as you're on a trial, they can find that shit.
As soon as I start running my campaign, that's when.
As soon as you go all Ted Bundy on it, they'll be like, let's find out what's real. Was he on Facebook? Come on, Facebook. You know he was on there, and they're like, all right.
So yeah, I came back, and because of the facial, at first I went. It was not Andy Wright. That was my username. And I was like, because I just wanted something just to pop on and take a look at the story. And then I was like, well, let's see what's around.
See, but starting fresh though is good because now you can cut out all the you can just keep it a finsta, as they say.
Yes.
Well, that's just for friends and family or whatever people do that. Like everybody's got one. I got one.
I changed it to Evil Andy.
Yes.
Because of the facial hair.
And you look evil.
I'm from the darkest timeline. I'm from a parallel universe. So I'm here to destroy the other Andy Wright's reputation, which wasn't much to begin with. So I'm kind of.
But what if you are, and you're not, and well, I guess we know.
Yeah, no, I just confessed it. Yeah, no, that
would be nuts, man.
We don't have to what if this.
Yeah, because every time I see you, you're in a different apartment. I'm like, what is going on with this guy? Different job. I'm like, there's more than one of you. That'd be crazy if there was.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back to that other place and knock. You're still here. You lying asshole.
Hey, Nate, you're in town?
Oh, my God. Yes. Well, good. Good to see you back on the gram.
Thanks, man.
Nice to have you back on the show.
Yeah, I'm glad I caught you while you were in town.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell a story about my friend Trevor.
Okay.
So when we were in high school, for some reason, everyone hated Trevor. Trevor's, I mean, you know Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very charismatic, very likable person. He's very goofy. He's always been tall.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it. We started to notice probably like halfway through high school where people just had problems with Trevor. We didn't quite get it. Like, first it was like within high school, and then we started to notice it was just wherever we went. Like, there were a few times where we just went to, oh shoot, what was it? Like, Dearborn had like a homecoming thing. You probably know what it was. Where they had like a fair, like they had rides and stuff. So
like a city fair almost.
Yeah. So we went to that one time, and like we're walking in, and it's a group of us, and for some reason these two dudes walking out just like pinpointed Trevor and just started talking shit as they walked by. We're like,
for no reason, just some random dudes.
Never met these guys, and so like stuff like that just kept popping up. Like every now and then we'd just be at a restaurant and someone would just have a problem with Trevor. So this particular day, my friend Steve, Trevor, and I, we headed out to 12 Oaks. Our friend Alex, he was still working at that time, so he wasn't with us, but we were going to hang out with him later. And so Steve had to return something at some store, and he branched off, and Trevor and I went in a different direction. And we went upstairs, and there used to be, I have no idea if it's still there. I haven't been to 12 Oaks in years. I haven't been to
just a mall. Just like it's just a big mall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at some point, like after 9/11, you just stopped going to malls. You know, it like they was just sad.
Yes.
Like they're huge open spaces where it's like, oh well, now I have to guess which stores won't be here the next time.
Right.
There used to be this super long hallway that you'd have to walk down to get to a restaurant.
Oh yeah.
We're headed to that restaurant.
I used to work at that mall, and I know the hallway.
So we're walking out. We use the restroom, and as we're walking out, 3 dudes walk in, and there's like 2 tall dudes. They look like maybe hockey players. And then a shorter, squatter one who's like overweight. And I notice he has like a deformity. Like his right arm is like a T-Rex arm.
Okay.
And like, you know, it's probably a bit insensitive, but like I noticed it.
Yeah.
It's like that. Okay, it's there. And like I walked out first.
Well, you just noticed it.
Yeah, it's just
not
there.
like it's not like you pointed at him and we're like, you
idiot.
idiot.
You can't use this restroom.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah. No, it's but it was just one of those things that was like, oh, yeah, okay. And I walked out, and then as Trevor's walking out, he's like maybe 2 steps behind me. Like I start to hear the 3 guys in there yell, and I thought they were yelling at each other, and I think Trevor did too. Yeah. And then like as Trevor's walking out, he's like, what was that? And like the door's shut, and we waited for a second. I'm like, were they talking to you? And he's like, I have no idea. So we start walking back down the long hallway, and we get to the very end right before getting back into the mall. And they come around the corner and they start yelling. They're like, hey.
Oh, shit.
So we're like, what the fuck? Yeah. So we stop, and then we wait the minute and a half it took them to walk up to us.
Oh, man, I'm loving how long, because I know this hallway. It's so long, and it's like
super long.
They would just walk to you.
Yeah,
like,
they didn't like jog.
They're like going to start some shit, but they're like, we're going to walk over to you.
Yeah, they weren't like hurrying their pace.
I guess that's a good, if you're trying to.
That's a long intimidation.
That's like, yeah, like it's got to be like halfway there. They're like, okay, even as like assholes, they're probably just like, okay, should we walk faster?
Yeah, like we should up our pace a bit.
Yeah.
They might be losing interest.
And you guys just stood there in the hallway.
We waited the entire time.
Rather than that's funny. I would have gone, all right, well, meet me out by the, where the people
like,
are.
We'll be with you in a moment. We're gonna get some Dippin' Dots. You meet us.
I'll be by the witnesses.
Yeah.
Whatever's about to happen. I feel like that's what
we're gonna be in the Yankee Candle,
but instead you guys just waited for them the whole walk.
We waited. Yeah, it was a ridiculous moment. They get to us and they start talking shit, maybe 10 feet out. And Trevor and I are just like confused.
Yeah,
and then they walk by Trevor, and the short, squat kid does like a head fake on Trevor, and Trevor like jumps back a bit, and then they just keep on walking, talking shit. I was like, what the fuck just happened? So Trevor and I go off or whatever, and we pass by them at another point. Going through the mall, going in the other direction. And they just start shouting shit at us. And we're like, what the hell's going on? Like, what do they have? Like, what's their beef with us?
What's the problem here?
So, a few notes on my friend Steve. He's a bit of a hothead. He was a hockey player. He did not like taking shit from anyone. So as soon as we met up with him again, we told him, and Steve's like, oh, well, we got to go find him.
Oh, boy.
So, and like at this point, like I was a small, weak kid. Like, not that I've changed a whole lot now.
But you're not instigating anything. You're like, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to get into a fight.
At this point, like I'm quiet because I don't understand why the kid with the T-Rex arm wants to start shit with us. Like, especially Trevor.
Yeah.
Not to like overdo it,
Yeah, but if
but
you're picking,
Trevor already has the reach on him.
Yeah, and he's in pretty good shape. Like he's like kind of ripped.
Yeah, Trevor
was he always kind of ripped?
He wasn't like that then.
Okay.
However, he was still very athletic.
Yeah,
and he was very tall. He had a long reach, strong kid still.
Yeah,
but it was just like,
why him?
Why him?
Yeah,
and why? Yeah,
why would you want to even? Like, why would you want to even start some shit with him?
Yeah, so we're walking a bit further, and we're on our way out of the mall.
Yeah.
We're about to round to an exit.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, these 3 kids are coming up the escalator like some sort of like scripted scene in a teen movie.
Yeah.
They're all coming up, and like we just stop right there and we wait for them. Like once again, we're waiting way too long for them to approach us.
Yeah.
They come up and
Did they notice you from the escalator too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they called us out as we're walking.
That's great.
That's why we waited.
So you just stood there, and they didn't even like start walking up the escalator. Yeah. Just stood there.
Once again, like no one in front of them. They weren't like, hey, as soon as his family gets off, like we're coming up. We're taking some extra steps. Like they're both walking lanes at this point for them.
Yes. So, hold on, I'll help you with your stroller first, miss. I gotta go kick this kid's ass, but let me help you.
So they come up and immediately like they just start talking shit, and Steve starts firing right back. And Steve was very good at talking shit, like not to the point of like he was super clever, but he knew how to get under someone's skin.
Yeah,
and he just kept going at him.
Yeah, and
they just kept getting more and more pissed. And all of a sudden, these girls show up who knew the other group of guys, and they're like, "Come on, don't do this." I'm probably Sean or Chad or whatever their names were.
Sean, Chad.
And so like. They're like, no, we're doing this, blah, blah, blah.
and you guys are like, we don't even know what they're doing.
And no one's making a move. And the whole time.
That's hilarious.
Like, I was so fixated on this kid's arm. I'm like, why?
Right.
What's
the deal?
Do I have to hit this kid? And like, how bad is that going to be?
And also, you can't hit somebody.
I can't hit him. No. I have to let him hit me.
Yes.
And then I have to like.
And then you also have to try not to hit him.
Like, what if he hits me with the smaller arm? Like, do I flop? Like, am I supposed to make him feel better? Like, hey, man.
Yeah, like I can't assault you.
Hey, we weren't all born on even footing. Like, you're doing your best. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Also, why are you guys talking shit?
Yeah, like, why you of all the 3 of you? Like, what do you hope to get out of this?
Right.
Like, is this like? Did you just like wake up today and realize like I hate everyone who's ever made fun of me or fixated on my arm? Like, and now it happens.
Do you think he noticed? That you maybe noticed?
I don't know if anyone noticed.
Because it's not like, but it's not like you were doing anything wrong. Or
I wasn't
rude,
saying like,
but my eyes were
just on it.
Yeah,
the entire like I couldn't separate from it.
Right.
I was just fused to that arm.
Maybe it's an insecurity
for a moment.
Because were they about the same age?
I was that arm. What?
They were all about the same age too.
Yeah, they were probably seniors in high school.
Yeah. So you guys are all just
we were just getting.
You're all just learning how to live.
Right. Yeah.
Going to the mall
we're
still
all
an
angry.
event. Yeah. Just go to the mall and walk around. Maybe get some Auntie Anne's. Yes.
Man, we were at that exit. That was the exit we were at.
It's always Auntie Anne's, man. There's a good Auntie Anne's there.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah. So the girls are trying to...
They're trying to pull their friends in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because obviously that was their plans that night was to do the weird guy-girl dance at the mall where some of you pretend to be interested, and then I'll be like, no, I'm gonna go to Abercrombie Fitch, and,
I can afford the cologne. I just want to smell like it.
I just want to, if I walk through it for 10 minutes, I'm gonna smell like it for at least a half hour. Yeah. I like it when the women there who are model like actually pay attention to me because I put on one of the slogan T-shirts or whatever.
Graphic tees.
The graphic tees. Jesus.
So the girls are trying to get him to
pull him back in, and Steve and this one kid are just going back and forth. And like at this point, like no one else is involved. It's just like our 2 point guards are just going at it, and all of a sudden it just breaks, and they walk away. And then we walk away.
Nice.
Like it didn't break over, like it didn't boil over, it just broke. Like
so all right,
the script just ended.
Yeah, we're cool,
and we're walking out, and Steve and Trevor are fired up. They're like, we need to go back in and fuck him up. And all of a sudden, like, Alex is calling or texting, like, seeing what was up. And we told him, he's like, let's go back and fuck him up. And the whole time, I'm just like,
guys, we can just go.
We gotta hit this kid with the arm. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. And so we get in the car, and they're just like, we just need to go fuck him up. And at this point is when I first spoke up. I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. The kid with the T-Rex arm. They're like, wait, what?
Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
What?
Blew my mind. I'm like, no, the guy with the T-Rex arm. They're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, he had like a deformed arm. Like, it was like, I don't, like, maybe an accident or he was born that way. It was obviously half a foot shorter.
Right.
Or maybe a foot
like,
shorter.
How did you not notice? It was definitely noticeable.
And they're like, you're just making this up. I'm like, dude, that's the only thing I saw for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I could not see anything else. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
I was inside that arm.
Right.
I was trying to figure out the thoughts of that arm.
Right.
And they're like, well, now we definitely have to go back. I'm like, no, this is not. This is not the lesson from this.
So you just made it worse.
I just made it worse.
You're just like, yeah, the guy with the deformity, and you're like, what? What deformity? That's like saying, the guy in the wheelchair. What guy in a wheelchair? We didn't even notice.
At that point, like, you start to
right.
question
like,
yourself, like, wait,
what, am I just an asshole?
Did anyone see a third kid?
Am I making
Was I the only one who saw the short fat kid?
Oh my god. And you guys did you ever come across them again?
Never saw these kids.
Nice.
But that's like how all these stories went. Like there were moments where kids in another car would see Trevor in a car and just start talking shit. There was one moment where we actually went to Chi-Chi's and we were in two different cars. I didn't know this happened. I think it was with my buddy Scott. And then like 3 or 4 other guys were in the other car. And we park and like Alex, Trevor, our other 2 friends, Mike and Kirk, like they square up like facing north, like looking at. There's an Olive Garden, like 2 parking lots down, and they're just like staring in that direction, like a dog that just knows there's trouble on the horizon or something. And we're like Scott and I were like, what's going on? They're like, some kids started talking shit to Trevor while we were at that stoplight. We're like, what?
God.
Like how does that come about in Livonia?
Right. Did you guys ever like get into a physical altercation with anybody like this?
Nothing ever came of this shit. That was the weird thing, because like no one was budging, and we're easily 100 yards away.
Yeah.
And they're just staring, and no one's like hurling insults. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's just like a group of kids over there staring us down over here. It's probably like Stevenson, like kids who also never been in a fight before.
Right.
Don't want to walk to Chi-Chi's.
Yeah, nobody wants to really fight.
Yeah.
They're just trying to pretend to be tough or whatever. Or like, it's just, or, it's just like, I don't know what happens after this part, like we see it in the movies. Yeah. But I don't ever really make that move.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, I guess that's kind of the vague end of my story.
There's no
real story here. It was just like a bunch of moments of Trevor's life of getting in trouble.
Yeah, it's like you gotta make better friends, man. I'm glad you didn't.
I do.
Yeah, guys that don't just attract insults.
Well, it's weird now because like Trevor's like super cut and like he's super built.
So nobody talks shit.
Nobody talks shit.
And like that guy can fuck me up. See, and I'm not very confrontational. I mean, like people. I mean, I've had people like say shit to me in public before, and I was like, I'm always just, even now as an adult, I'm just like, yeah, you're right.
It's weird. Like as an adult, like back in
just like what?
Back in 2006, I used to have a giant afro, and for some reason, I don't know. Maybe you've noticed this because you have long hair now. The longer my hair got, the more people talk shit.
I feel like I look like a chotch.
You look like a hockey player, which I mean, it's your.
I mean, I did play hockey growing up my whole life. There's the only
You're
sport
a
I
hockey
played.
guy.
Yeah.
So hockey boy. Maybe.
And it's funny. I look more now like a hockey player than I did when I played hockey. When I played hockey, I was just this fat kid with like a bowl cut.
Have you had people just like get angry with you or like seemingly be more?
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. I feel like people just act different now. Now that I'm getting used to it. People
weird.
talk to me differently in public just from the hair, man. And it's got that. You're right. I've never really put this together, but because I only stopped keeping it short over the last like 3 months. So like now I'm like getting used to just having long hair.
Yeah.
And it's definitely now that you pointed out, I'm pretty sure it's probably the hair. I don't know.
There were several times where people would stop me on the street and just talk shit to me for no reason. In fact, even when I was doing stand-up when I had the fro, like I started doing stand-up when I had the fro, every now and then people would just hate on me. Like they were like, it was pointed like it was after the show. Stuff, or after I came off stage. But there was a very specific example where so my family owned a hardware store growing up. As far as I know, I was the first ever official complaint registered after the fact. Like you have your angry customers in retail, but this one particular morning, this guy came in.
Wait, real quick. You worked at your family's hardware store, which is just, you're the guy that's there. That's somebody comes in. I understand retail because I've done retail, but it's hardware. It's like, how do you complain about somebody at a hardware store?
What shortcoming are you projecting onto me?
Right, because what? It's just, you need a hammer?
Yeah.
You want a propane?
Like, I can tell you where.
Yeah. What am I doing?
That's the most I can intervene.
Yeah, it's not like you're showing them how to replace, fix galvanized plumbing. You're just
I'm not showing up to your house to give you the wrong directions on.
You're just the guy
repairing a gas line and then your house blew up.
Yeah, you're just the guy that's like, what do you need, hammers? Oh, yeah, I'll four.
This way.
Yeah.
I can point pretty well.
Yeah.
And that's the best I'm going to do.
Yeah, but there's no, you're not really giving them advice. Just you already know what you need. Unless you need, and if you have that many questions, I'm sure you just go, honestly, that's out of my, let me find somebody to help
Let me go ask one of the adults.
Yeah, let me ask somebody that knows that. I'm 18. I don't own a house, sir.
Yeah, right.
But that's how you handle it. I mean, there's no other way to do it.
That's exactly it. That sums up my career.
But that's what's funny to me, that somebody would leave there going, that fucking kid didn't know how to replace, a gas line. You're just or whatever.
People will say heinous shit to a teenager.
I know.
And the biggest problem was almost always with relation to propane tanks.
Mm-hmm.
People got personally offended if you told them oh, by the way, these things have a date stamped on them, and if they're over a certain time frame, legally we can't fill them.
Right.
And people would take it personally.
Yeah.
I remember this one guy.
What? God damn it!
Screaming across the parking lot "Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit!" And I was 13 or 14 technically. I was working there way too young.
Yeah.
And he's just screaming at me, and I just go in. And I go to my manager. I'm like, Dave, if this guy comes back, I know he said he was going to bring a different tank up. I'm concerned.
Yeah,
he was just yelling at me.
Which don't they just replace those anyway? Can't you just get a new one?
You can just get a new one.
Yeah,
a different
and it doesn't cost anything, right? Or whatever the cost is, it comes full though.
Yeah, so some places did that. So this guy, this guy was just a nutcase. But
dude, those people are psychos.
Back to when I had this fro.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It was first thing on a Friday morning. One of the first customers to show up. He had two tanks to get filled up, and I started filling the one, and it was just leaking out the handle.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you need specific certifications and licenses and insurance to work on these things. It's they could just blow up
as an employee.
Yeah, well, as a company, and an employee.
Yeah.
So, we didn't do that shit there. We just filled them up, and then we sold new ones, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it starts leaking. I pull it off. I'm like, yeah, sorry, I can't fill this. It's leaking everywhere.
Yeah.
He's like, well, can't you fix it? I'm like, yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah, we don't do that. Just something.
Ready for that. We can't do that. Whatever. And we've been around at that point for
it's kind of a neighborhood
15, 16 years. Yeah. So people had come to us. This guy wasn't a new customer.
Right.
And so he's like, well, what's in that toolbox over there? I'm like, well, there's some tools in there, but
Jesus Christ.
But I can't just.
Well, what's in that toolbox?
Yeah, I'm not holding out on you.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not faking that I know just so I can I want to go back inside and drink my coffee.
You're right. I would rather have this conversation with you than just fix it real quick and get you the fuck out of my store. Yeah.
Now I'm embarrassed.
You know what? You're right. I have nothing better to do than to pretend we don't fix propane tanks.
So he just keeps giving me shit. I'm like, I'm sorry, we can't do anything for this one. I fill up the other one, I give him to him.
Yeah.
And he left. He went inside, got his refund for the one. He was just very quiet and surly, whatever. An hour later, some lady calls up, gets my mom on the phone, and is just going off. Because I can immediately see my mom's pissed.
Right.
And my mom, I think the first thing she said was yeah, that's my son.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and I was like, oh, God, what the hell is this about?
Yeah, what'd you do? And you're did you know immediately who it was? I was probably
no, I still had no idea that I pissed this guy off this much.
Yeah, so you think it's I don't know, somebody.
What did I do before? Who did I, what did I do in my actual life that actually mattered? And so this lady just, yelling and, all this stuff, and, eventually my mom got off the phone, And she's like, yeah, I guess the guy you filled the tanks for, like, he was super pissed, went home, like, and his wife is super upset, and like,
funny.
I guess she was just talking shit about me, like, left and right. Like, the kid with the fuzzy hair, like,
yeah,
like, oh, you're just
I wasn't
defend
there
him because he's your son. Blah blah. blah. Yeah,
I wasn't there, but I know how rude and awful of an employee he was. My husband would never. And maybe she was just pissed that he was pissed, and then she has to put up with him. And then blame
that's
it on
just
you.
it.
You know
like,
what I mean?
she's now upset that her Friday's ruined for whatever reason.
Jesus.
And yeah, like, she needed me to pay for it, but it was like shit like that happen all the time, and like, that was the first complaint.
Yeah.
There was a second one not long after that, and I'm pretty sure the only 2 complaints ever registered officially where someone called back in Wright's hardware history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, I mean, you're probably right about that. And also, me as an the customer in most of these situations now, and I would say I would argue that because I've been the guy at the register and I've put up with enough psychos to just, I get it. I'm not gonna ruin your day because I hate my life.
Right.
I mean, if anything, I'm gonna tell you why I hate my life and make you laugh about it.
Yeah.
Or point out how dumb I am or whatever the hell the issue is. I'll be like, oh, you're. But now when I approach this from a customer's perspective, if I go to a hardware store and I see a 14-year-old with an afro filling up my propane tank, I'd be like, of course he doesn't fucking know anything about it. Even though you knew something about it, you knew that, and you knew how to handle that situation.
You're not going to project on me and be like, I bet this kid.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, you don't.
I want this kid fixing this combustible gas tank for me.
If anything, I wouldn't have felt comfortable standing near you. The place I've been to fill a propane tank is already shady looking enough, and then there's really, which would make sense, but this really like greasy. Like, it's always in the summer too. This guy in like a wife beater, and just he's been working all day, just hot and sweaty, and just he's smoking.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, I just need to like fill this tank. And he goes, okay. And then he's just filling it up, and I'm like, I'm gonna go stand over here for a minute, while you do that. I don't know how this works, Well,
there was also that too. Like, anyone who would just light up nearby, and be like, hey, you can't do that here.
Yeah.
Some people are just assholes about it. It's like, dude, if you throw that on the ground now, we're fucked, because
you at least would understand. Like, if somebody told me, I didn't notice, I need to put it out with my hand real quick or something. You know what I mean? Or like, why would I just light up at a hardware store anyway?
Also, like why be a dick about it? Like, why not realize, like, oh, by the way, this is an incredibly
dangerous,
combustible, flammable liquid gas. Like, I shouldn't do this.
Right.
Like, I should know better.
Oh my God, people are just assholes.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, oh no, I smoke around the grill all the time. Yeah, no shit. That's very different than what's happening over here.
I smoke around propane all the time.
Like I said, like,
what would
you
you
not
know?
Believe the personal shit people would take for if you told them, like, especially as a teenager. Like anytime I hear, especially like Mitch Albom bullshit about complaining about our generation, it's just like, you're the worst. You're the problem.
Yeah.
It's because your goddamn generation was so
stubborn and shitty,
stubborn and spoiled, and you thought you had it, and then you fucking broke it all.
Yeah.
And now you want to complain about every kid who's just trying to do a customer service job to get by.
Yeah. So
they don't have to do your customer service bullshit anymore.
Right.
Like, goddamn.
That shit is annoying, man. It's so annoying. That's why I like it. Yeah, I respect anybody. I definitely never cause shit in any of those situations. Oh my God. Especially food service. I'm just like, even if it comes out wrong, I'm like, that's fine.
I know.
Maybe I don't need cheese on my burger today. It's
okay.
It's okay. I'm not sending this back.
There are plenty of moments where,
you know what I mean?
Where I thought, like, I don't need this meal to be perfect.
No.
I come back here.
I'm at a Coney Island.
I'm not coming here.
Hey, these fries are fries. So how do you? I mean, what do you like?
If it's bad enough, send it back.
Well,
like,
sure.
I've sent shit
if there's
back,
hair,
but there's
I'd be like,
very rarely where I'm like, oh, this is going so terribly. Like, I was really banking on this meal to change my week around.
Yeah, unless it's like raw chicken.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's fine. Oh, you put the dressing on the salad? I want it on the side. I'm eating it.
Okay,
fuck it.
It's still going in the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who really cares? Like, you know what I mean? It's $7.
Yeah,
that's not going to be good. It's Dollar Coney Day, and I'm gonna complain. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're already doing me a favor by dropping the 35 extra cents.
Nothing edible should be that cheap.
No.
So I'm not gonna complain.
So if I'm going in with that notion of like, well,
oh man,
my night's gonna be awful.
Oh man,
but this is gonna be a cheap lunch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so be it.
When I worked at Pizza Hut, that was the best because, I mean, nothing's worse than hungry people after work, but especially when they're poor.
Oh, I bet.
Because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And nobody, and they're all just, I mean, I felt, it's like one of those things where it's actually just kind of depressing talking to the people that came in there. Sometimes you get like it's my kid's birthday and I'm going to get pizza for all of his friends and we're going to have a goddamn nice night.
Yeah.
It's never like that. It's always like, it's some guy's just been working. You can just tell he's just working all day.
Yeah.
He's broke. He hates his wife. and she wanted pizza and he just wanted to get away from her for an hour. So yeah.
I'll pick it up. We can get it delivered. No, I'll go pick it up.
No, I'm going to pick that shit up.
I'm going to the
this
far
guy comes
one.
in. Yeah.
I'm going to the close Pizza Hut.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna take the back roads to Pizza Hut. And I'd show up. You hear the door open, and then you go up front, and it's afternoon. It wasn't busy. It was like it was maybe our third sale of the day, and this guy comes in. We have signs everywhere that say we don't accept $100 bills, and that's just part. That's not an uncommon policy for any company.
Yeah,
and I don't care about this place.
Right.
My manager, who's been there for 15 years, doesn't care about this place, and he's been there 15 years. He still doesn't care. So he just wants to get. The lack of care from the employees at this place, so great. And this guy walks in, and places the order. Pizza's already in the oven, and that's like once it's in the oven, it's like, God damn it. It's done. It's done. We're all done.
Yep.
We're all done here. And he goes to pay for it with a $100 bill. And I was like, oh, we don't take $100 bills here. Also, we've been open for 2 hours. We don't even have the change for this. And you'd have thought I told him like, we don't take money.
Yeah, we don't take it kind.
Yeah, we don't take. Yeah, you would have thought, and it wasn't even. I don't even think he was. I don't think he could even pin the race card on me either, because I'm pretty sure he was white, and it wasn't even like. I mean, this guy was clearly just pissed off about something and just needed to take it out on somebody that worked in food service.
Right.
And also somebody who does. I'm like, you yelling at me is actually kind of making my day because I don't have to make sauce cups right now. That was my I'm like, please yell at me because this is funny because you're a grown man. I'm in my 20s and I don't want to work here.
Yeah.
So please get me fired or something. I don't know. Like, I think it would be so funny right now. It's so great that you're yelling at somebody who has it. I mean, I don't want to say worse, but I mean, who's like working at Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Nobody's life's that great. We're all at Pizza Hut right now. This guy loses his shit. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's 2 signs right here. I point them out. And I'm like, dude, we can't take a $100 bill. You know what I mean? We get a lot of counterfeit bills. And enough's enough, I guess. I don't know. I don't own the place. I don't make the rules. And he's just like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, well, it'll take about 15 minutes for your food to be ready anyway. So, you can go next door. They'll give you change. There's a Chinese restaurant. And they always did that. Most people that come in would be like, oh, cool. Let's just go next door real quick. It was never a deal. And this guy would not. He's like, this is ridiculous. He starts raising his voice. Where's your manager? I'm like, well, he's the other guy. It's just the other guy.
It's a 2-man operation.
I'm like, let me go get him. And I just turn around and I go, hey, will you come up here? I don't even go get him. I just know. Yep. Just like, and I'm like, you want just somebody. What?
You just want a different
guy to tell you that
shirt over here.
Yeah. And I go, hey, once you're done putting this asshole's pizza in the oven, you come up here and tell him exactly what I told him. So he comes up there, and that guy gives, like I said, less of a shit than I do about Pizza Hut or customer service. At this point, I'm like, I don't care if you're complaining about this nasty pizza you're about to eat. Even if the best made pizza, it's still gross. Yeah. And I'm like, just. My manager comes up and he's like, what's the problem? And I go, well, he's got this $100 bill. I told him we don't take $100, but I showed him the signs, and the guy's like, what do you mean you don't take everybody? And I'm like, well, there's even a bank over there, we're just giving him every other option. And even this guy says the same thing, because we don't have the change for that, man. Like, it's, we don't even have that kind of money in the drawer. And let alone we just don't accept $100 bills. And the guy's like, okay, I'm not. And he goes, you don't have any other money? And he starts like pulling out, he's got like every, down to the, and he's paying with change at this point. He brings out singles. I think he had a couple fives or whatever, and he's like scraping, and he's got a wad of cash, and it was just enough, and he was 10 cents short.
Oh shit!
And my manager goes, you have a $100 bill. There's no reason you can't just give us the exact, you know what I mean? Like, and also you're being an asshole right now. It was like that kind of like, and it was like really uncomfortable but hilarious.
Yep.
And I was like, and this guy was shaking, and he was so mad. And I'm like, well, this pizza's in the oven. I was like, you know what, sir? If it means that much to you, I'll throw in I had a dime in my pocket, and I go here, since you, and I literally said, since you refuse to just go break a $100 bill, and you'd rather sit and pout in front of us for the next 10 minutes while now we just awkwardly watch each other. You watch us cut your pizza, and like, here's the chair. I will make it an even. I'll give you the money here. And I go here, since you're a grown man that can't just go, you know what? This place doesn't take hundreds. I got 15 minutes to kill anyway. Let's go see. And if he'd come back, dude, and been like, they won't break this 100. I don't know what to do. I'd have been like, well, I guess, here, I would have been happy to help him. Here's a dime, man. I don't give a shit. I would have even given it to him. You know what I mean? Just even if it was like $1 or $2 short, I would have still done it. Like, I didn't give a shit. And I was just like, man, since you're just being an asshole, I'm going to make a grown man count out every penny in front of me. And I'm going to count it back and be like, no, man, it's like a nickel short.
Right. Yeah, no.
And he's like, and he was shaking. I was like, you're just entertaining me.
Yeah. How do you not, like, I understand the whole rejection based around principle. Like, I get how attractive that is because you think you're taking a stand, but at the same time, it's like, there's no out for you.
Yeah.
The only, your line of escape was gone like minutes ago. Yeah. And now you're stuck in this very embarrassing situation that's just making you angry. Yeah. And it's great for us.
Yeah. And then every time he would come in after that.
Oh, God. So he kept coming.
Oh, yeah. He's a regular.
Oh, my God.
After that, like, I never noticed him, but I never forgot him. You know what I mean? Like, I never, like, caught on. And then, like, and then he would come in maybe once every couple of weeks after that. And I'm like, oh, you're that guy. And I'm pretty sure he would remember. Yeah. Because
he probably never forgot either.
Because every time he came in, I'd be like, oh, hey. And I would always say, like, how's it going? Like, oh, yeah. And he never had a $100 bill again.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, how's it going? You a grown man? You having a better day? You adult? I'm supposed, that's the thing, man. It's the hardest thing. And I'm not by any means I try to be a good person, just on the day to day.
Yeah.
You do your best.
It has to be day to day.
I do my best.
You're not going to survive.
We have bad days. Every once in a while I got I have a moment, but I try, at least in public. Maybe it's more I think people I'm immediate people in my life that I take shit out on, which is also wrong. Yeah. But I don't. But you know what I mean. I don't bring it. I don't let it carry over into like. I'll never take out my shit on. I don't know if that's good or bad, but like, I think it's a normal thing to be a dick to somebody. Like you're, well, you know what I mean.
That yeah.
Or it's just like I'm having a shitty day.
Right.
Don't talk to me right now. That kind of shit. Like that kind of tone.
Those are the people who are supposed to like.
That's the part of.
They're like, okay, this is part of the tolerance. Like, this is the relationship.
Yeah. Friends, family, girlfriend, whatever. And sometimes I'm a little short with people. I get it, but like also like I'll never do that to somebody that's like waiting on me. I'm never like that.
Yeah.
But I gotta go day to day, being as young as I am, which is mid 20s.
Yeah.
I'm officially past. I'm officially past the point of like I cannot play the I don't know what I'm doing card. Like there's no excuse anymore. Like you're you should know better. You should know better. If anything, you should know better. And there's no more like fail safe of like I'm just a dumb kid.
Yeah.
I'm a, you know what I mean, like that kind of shit. And I have to walk around half the age of most people that I'm gonna encounter, and just I've got to be like, are you seriously acting like that right now?
Right.
Like I'm your kid's age, and you're just being a dick.
This is who you are.
Are you happy? Are you happy now that you told me that to fuck off because I wouldn't take your $100 bill, even though you have more than enough money to pay for the $17 order, but you just refuse to go next door for a second and just like, go to a place. I gave you 3 options. There's a bank. There's 8 other establishments in this strip mall. Go get some fresh air, man. Wait for your food. I don't know.
Like, cool down. Go out, take a walk, walk it off.
Dude, it was so,
get some fresh air.
It's like people at shows, man. There was a guy at the show last night that I had, and he would just yell out shit, and he was just a drunk asshole.
Yeah.
And he would yell shit out, and it was a fundraiser too. So like everybody was there for a specific event, and this guy
fundraisers and who I believe, fucking contests, like
I believe
you came for these people.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But I believe he was just a member. It was like at this private estate, like an Eagles Lodge or whatever. So like I'm pretty sure he was just a guy, like a regular at the venue. He was just like a regular, and he was there for the, he's just, there's a show tonight, and he was just there watching the show, kept yelling shit out and would not stop, to the point where it was like, dude, just eventually they finally kicked him out, which was hilarious watching. But that's the thing, I'm the youngest person in here by at least 15 years.
Yeah.
By at least 15 years. Easily. And I am the most mature person. Or I have to be also, because I'm also performing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know, and maybe I'm biased because I've done comedy long enough to just understand how like the rooms work. I understand how like those events go, and so maybe I just approach it like expecting shit like that to go down. But like, still, I'm like, I would never act like that, and I've been wasted,
right?
And I still have never yelled at a performer. I've been to shows. I'll go to a concert. I don't even cheer.
Yeah.
It's like ruined my, I don't even like, I'm here to watch the show,
Just here to watch.
Right. That's even like, I could be in an arena and I'm like, nice.
Nice.
I'm not like cheering. Everybody else is losing their mind. Yeah. Even like where it's appropriate, like a rock concert,
thing.
like where it's like
the moment you're
that's the
supposed
energy, to. But then a comedy show.
We all understand the social habits of people.
But like even like I'm like, God damn it, man! You have to yell shit out and get mad because they told you to stop. You're a grown ass man. You're older than my dad.
Yeah. Like take that one slap on the wrist and get out. Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna just get slapped in the face with embarrassment and just gonna make it.
Or sometimes like
how have you not learned this?
Yeah. Like the night before, 2 nights ago, I had a show and there was a guy like that. But the thing is, it's like, sometimes you get like a heckler, but it's not like they're being rude. Well, they're rude in that they're saying anything to begin with.
Yeah.
But also, it was like good. There was like, you can tell their intentions behind it weren't to be, I'm better, or like, I'm trying to like steal the show or like, make you look like an idiot. They're just like, yeah, like, they would yell out a comment. And it would almost contribute, like it would contribute because I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
And I knew how to take that and make it part of the show, kind of like where I'm like, oh, okay, you said that. You're not supposed to say that, but I'll take that information and somehow filter it through my brain and make it funny in this moment. But, and then I'll look good, but I'll make you look like an asshole in the process. Like it's really funny. And then, but like, I couldn't like call the guy an asshole. Or like I couldn't make him feel bad, but also I didn't want him to feel like he could do that.
He should be like he.
Yeah, so you're like, I'm like, dude, I'm your kid's age.
Yeah.
Why? Or like, and I have to be the bigger person here.
Right.
And not just in comedy, but even on the day to day, it's like, the guy at Pizza Hut. I'm like, dude, and I'll straight up say, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this place. Yeah. I'm making $8 an hour right now. You think I really can? I'm making $8 an hour in 2018.
No one's going to give a fuck if they're going down your resume. They're like, oh, why'd you leave Pizza Hut? Oh, I got fired for saying, telling a customer to fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
That no one cares. Yeah. No one's going to care.
Yeah. Andy Wright, this has been fantastic.
It has been.
Thank you as always for being on the show.
You're welcome.
And it's always lovely to see you. And I appreciate you sharing. And just talking, I don't know, just being on. I just appreciate, I like chatting, man. Like well-intended conversation.
Exactly.
This is nice. I appreciate it more often. Absolutely.